Hello, my name is Xander from Terrytown, and welcome to your Cougar half-ton 30 BHS. I'm going to be starting right up front here with your front power tongue jack. You're going to have a front light just in case you do need to hook up at night. And you have your retract and extend here for your power tongue jack as well. Just in case this happens to electrically go out, right behind this little black tab here is going to be a manual override spot. So you just stick a crank in there or anything with a 3/4 inch socket, and you can go ahead and drill this up or down. Coming to your propane tanks here, you have your two, and you have your regulator switch right in between. So those little red pieces there are going to turn green when there is a steady flow of propane going through. So for example, supply is going this way, open that up, so then same thing with that side, facing that way, open that up and so forth. Otherwise, if you open this up, that should flick to green. Yep, just like that. So now that shows you that there's a steady flow of propane going through this tank and into your regulator. I'm just gonna close that back up. Right back here is going to be your battery, and you're going to have your battery disconnect here as well. So all this does, pretty self-explanatory, it disconnects the battery from the inside of your camper. Right in here. So you're going to have your solar charge controller right there, and that is also what that back one cuts off to. Above is going to be your self-leveling system. It's going to be pretty hard for me to reach in there and kind of demonstrate. I want to try to move your hitch out the way here. All right. So with this system, of course, you have all of your different settings here. So if you keep clicking through, you're going to have auto hitch, which that means when you go to hitch up or whatever. Actually, I'm gonna go over that one last just so it makes more sense. Otherwise, you have auto retract. So when you are hooked onto your hitch, you click auto retract, and it is of course going to retract all of your leveling jacks there. And auto retract rear. So just in case you do have just the rear, you can go ahead and do that. And then you have manual level. So if you do need to control it, you can do that as well, as long as you have manual level on. And then you have auto level. So this auto level button is going to, well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's going to auto level your coach out. So whatever, surface you're on, you click auto level, and it's going to make sure it is as level as possible. So since I said that, auto level, it goes to the most level spot possible. So for auto hitch, I'm gonna go over that. So when you back up into your spot and you go ahead and click auto level, it is going to remember the last spot where it was at before you clicked auto level. So when it's on auto hitch and you click enter, it's going to go right back to where that hitch height was, so you can back right back in, hook up your unit, and take off. So otherwise, that's pretty much it for that. Otherwise, if you have any more questions, you can bring them here when you come to pick it up, and then I can help answer those for you when you are here. Otherwise, you have your hitch and everything like that, which your salesperson will help go with you. And right behind here, you also have a hose for outside shower and stuff like that. Moving to, if I can get this open here. This is always the most fun part, is trying to get these open. There we go. So, just gonna set that down there. But right here is going to be your water heater. So with this water heater, this is going to be your anode rod. This anode rod is going to protect your tank. It's going to take all the beating from the hard water, so this is going to get eaten at over time. So you will need to replace this eventually, and it's kind of all dependent on how you look at it. So whatever you think is about 50%, then you can go ahead and replace this. But anyway, moving forward, this goes right into that hole there. Once that's in, make sure it is as tight as you can get it. It's going to be a 1 1/16 socket. So once that's in nice and tight, go to the inside of your camper and turn on the hot side of your faucet. So once that's in nice and tight, and you have a steady flow of water coming out the hot side of your faucet, and it's not sputtering anymore, because it will in the beginning just to get all the air out, then you can go ahead and turn this on, use it, do what you need to do, and everything else. And then when it comes time to empty it, just go ahead and pull that pressure release valve there. I'll get more up close. Right there, just pull that, and of course it's going to hiss, but that's just all the air dying out or the pressure dying out. And then when that's done hissing, take your socket, pull this back out, and then all of your water is going to drain right out of there and out going to be your little docking station. You have a small outside shower here. You have your black tank flush here, which is, I'll go over that in just a little bit. If I can stop this wind, that would be great. Otherwise, I'm just gonna try to keep going. So that's gonna be your black tank flush. Your black tank flush is pretty self-explanatory. It's gonna flush your black tank. So I'll go over that more when I get to the sewer system. But otherwise, moving on, you're going to have your water selections here. So whether you want to fill your tank or just move to city water connection, you just move this little blue dial to whatever. City water connection is going to be your main water source when you get to a campground. So of course, when you're plugged in, it's just going to go straight to your lines. And then tank fill, it's just going to fill a little tank reservoir. So if you're going camping in the middle of nowhere, you can go ahead and fill that up and take water with you. So right down here is going to be your tank, black tanks and gray tanks, stuff like that. So this one over here is going to be a gray tank. Your gray tanks are going to be more of your showers and sinks and stuff like that. And then your black tanks are going to be more for your toilet and sewage. So that's why you have a black tank flush, is because toilet paper and stuff will get stuck coming out. So that's why they have that for you, so you can activate that small sprinkler to help flush anything that may have gotten stuck on the way out. So what I do recommend doing is doing the black tank first, and then your black tank flush. When you're done with both of those, close it, and then open your gray tank. The reason why I recommend doing the gray tank last is just because it's the cleanest water. So when you do go ahead and put your hands on there, it gives you kind of one last little flush before you go ahead and do. Otherwise, right here is going to be the enter for your underbelly storage. Not underbelly storage, but your rear storage. You have that other back panel there as well. You can go ahead and move these up and down. You have a little pin switch here that you can pop that open for. Right here you have your camp power or shore power. This is going to be your 50 amp service. And then right back here is going to be for satellite and cable. So whatever you decide to, well, if your campground offers it, you can go ahead and do that. Try to block this one out again. I just want to make sure that this little piece right here is out and out of the way, so when it is closed and locked up, you can still have your cords leaving out like that. Always, like I mentioned before, use your bag storage. And then moving on, you're going to have your outside refrigerator, then your outside little stove here. I gotta get both these down at the same time. There we go. So the main thing with this, just pay attention to, is your gas. So you're gonna have a little LP quick connect back here that will plug into the bottom of this. And then that will go right into that right there. That's your LP quick connect, and that'll feed gas to your little grill here. So like I had before, just go ahead, push it, twist it, you can hear it ignite, and then of course this will start to heat up. Push the two blue things down. There we go. Otherwise, right here, you can see that little cord that goes right into there. Otherwise, right here, you have your outside shower. You have a hot and cold side of the lines, and of course, you have your shower head and hose all wrapped up inside of this little piece here. And then moving on, if you do decide to put a TV outside, you have your 110 outlets here. You have another satellite and cable input right there. Like I said, if you do decide to put a small TV outside, this is going to be your furnace exhaust. So when your furnace is on, all the extra heat is going to be kicking out of here. So what I do recommend doing is keeping kids, little pets away, anything like that when this is on. Otherwise, they can be around it and whatnot. But just out of safety, do keep them away from this, especially when it's on. And then right here, it's going to be a 50 to 30 amp adapter, just in case your campground has 30 amp service. And then if you want to plug it into your house beforehand, you can take that 30 amp, plug it into this 110, and then you can plug this into your house if you want to start testing smaller things like cooling your fridges and whatnot. And then right here, you have a 25-foot drinking hose. And then this is your sewer hose, which I do recommend getting a better one, like a premium serviced one. And then you have all of your cranks and stuff like that right there. That little silver one is going to be a manual override for that front jack there, like I mentioned before. And then right inside here is going to be your in-command system. This is just a manual version of it. I'll show you the inside and the electronic version when we get there. Otherwise, that is going to be that. So, for your stairs, you're just going to want to make sure you twist this. You can see them there starting to move. You just want to make sure that's out of the frame. Then you can go ahead and drop this down. I'm doing it with one hand, so it's a lot more difficult. Otherwise, just make sure it's down like that. Then when you are inside, here's your in-command system here. Password is going to be all zeros just to get it kicked off. You can change it later on. There's HVAC system. You just turn it on. Switch between cool, fan, heat, and then you can also go between the fan speeds as well. But you are going to need gas for that. You can do electric for AC and anything like that. But just for your furnace, you are going to need to have your gas on. Right here, start stop schedule. So whenever you want AC kicked on or AC kicked off, anything like that, you are able to schedule that here. And then moving on to your lights section. Of course, pretty self-explanatory, just tap on and off the lights. Bedroom, ceiling, and awning. It's kind of hard with this glare, but I do, when I open the awning, I want you to see it. Right up top, I forgot to mention, are going to be all of your tanks. So when they start to fill up, these will eventually start to fill up as well. Let me go here. So you have your fresh tank heater that you can turn on. Just make sure your fresh tank doesn't freeze. Waste tank heater, same thing. Just make sure your sewage doesn't freeze or anything like that. And of course, you have all of your readers right here, or to tell you how full they're getting. It's kind of hard. I'll show you more when I close the door. But anyway, for slides, I'm gonna open this awning first. So you just hold the out button, and it is then going to extend. The main thing you're going to want to pay attention to is the end of the flap, so the end of the awning there, and then you will be able to see the black bar sitting on behind it, and then that will then declare that you are fully extended because it does not stop on its own. So right there, you can see the flap come down, and then the black bar is sitting on behind it. But yeah, you just got to let go when you see that, and then you will be all set. The reason why you do want to stop is A, like I mentioned before, it doesn't stop, and then B, it'll actually reel in the opposite way if you do continue holding out, and it'll end up breaking your awning. Takes a little while. And now that's all closed. I'm gonna shut this door here. All right, now for your slide, you can hold out as well, and you can hear it start to move. Otherwise, you're just gonna hear it die out like that. And then right here, settings, so this is where you can change if you want to hook it up to your phone, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi passcode, anything like that. All of your information is going to be right there in the settings. And then you have your battery reader, so you're running 14 volts. Water pump, so when you need to use your fresh tank or anything like that, you just go ahead and click that, and then it's going to draw water. Water heater, click that on right there. Just make sure you have a steady flow coming out the hot side of the faucet and your anode rod is in. And you go ahead and flick that on. Otherwise, this is just like a little quick tap for interior lights. Moving on, you're going to have your little sound system here. Tap to turn on. And then you're gonna have your, of course, volume here. And then when you press it, you turn into a little equalizer. So you can flip through all of that. Channels, you can switch between that. You have Bluetooth and then like a source button. There we go. So if you switch between aux and everything like that, you are able to do that. And then zone 1, inside speakers, zone 2, outside speakers, And that's pretty much it for that. That to turn off. For your space heater here, top right to turn on, top left to change color, and then just the middle button is going to be temperature and heat. Just make sure it's on and going, and then when you click there, oh, I just missed it, but it said on, and then you'll be able to start to feel it. If that shows you anything, it's starting to kick out a little bit. Otherwise, off. I'm just gonna kick that back out. But yeah, that is that portion of it. Microwave. You can have a light and fan in here. Oh, gimbal's acting all weird. You can focus up. Light. Press in, turn to the pilot symbol, and you spark to the right to then ignite. So you have to spark to the right, because if you do spark to the left, it will snap off. So there's arrows and everything telling you to turn to the right, just to double check and make sure you know, because we don't want anything snapping off. Then for your oven, which is going to be this far right one, right on here, is going to be, it's way in the back there, it's kind of hard to see, but that is just going to be where the where it ignites and where the gas comes out. So you're just going to want to pay attention to that, but otherwise just do the same thing. Press in, turn to the pilot symbol, spark, 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 and then when you're done with the gas and you see the small flame, go ahead and then turn to your temperature. And then two things down here. This is going to be your breakers and your fuses. All of your breakers are going to be labeled just like a house would be, and I do recommend bringing some fuses with you. That's just a personal recommendation. You can do whatever you'd like, but you can pick those up at any auto parts store. Right there is going to be your carbon monoxide detector. That little green light is always going to be running just as a safety feature. So basically, when you turn off your battery disconnect, you just double check that that green light is off, because then that will eventually stop killing your battery and stop draining it. And then for your keys here, purple ones are going to be for your main doors. So that's why you have so many. Oh. And then your gray ones right here are going to be for your baggage doors, and then the silver one, and then of course you have the other silver one that was out there on your docking station. That is going to be for your docking station, outside shower, and then where your cable and satellite inputs are. So that's what the smaller keys are for, are those smaller black boxes. And then pretty much just the main thing for the bathroom, just it's a foot flush, so you press down to flush with that. And then you also are going to need RV grade toilet paper and toilet solution. The toilet solution is going to help just kind of break down smells and solids. And then the RV grade toilet paper is going to help, once again, break down easier to make sure everything flows nice and easy. And then right here, just for your little shower piece here, you want to make sure that when you do go to close it, it's not like this. You have to make sure you hear that click, so it actually locks into place. Because I said it's still going to be sliding back and forth. Well, there's not really a whole lot to your bedroom. You're just going to have your mounting bracket location, and then satellite cable input, and then the 110 output or inputs right there for power. And then moving to your fridge, you just tap to hold on. It's going to beep. The higher the number, the colder it gets. So it's just 1 through 5, and then you can choose between your freezer right there and your refrigerator right there to choose the temperature for that. And then I'm gonna be honest, it's not really a whole lot of point or a whole point to it. It's just basically a nighttime mode, which makes the beeps quieter, and it just makes your fridge quieter. So like I said, not really a whole point, but if that's right up your alley, feel free to do it. But otherwise, that is pretty much it for your basic orientation. So when you do come back in to pick it up, please write down any questions or anything like that you might have, so I can help you answer those when you get here. Other than that, congratulations, and I hope you enjoy.